In this video, I'm going to talk about Filipina love scams and I'll give you 10 ways not to become a victim. So if you're thinking of dating a Filipina or are already in a newish relationship with a Filipina, then this video could save you much heartache, frustration and money. If you want to avoid being scammed by a Filipina, then be sure to buckle up and stay with me here. Now, first up, I'll say that overall, Filipinas get rather a bad rap when it comes to love scams. Many people seem to think that all Filipinas are out to scam foreign guys of their money, which is far from true. Yes, there are some women there who are looking to deceive and make money from men, but we must understand that the vast majority are good, decent women who are looking for a decent man to love and share their life together. Having said that, it's good to know how to avoid being played by a non-genuine Filipina, just in case you come across such a woman. Now, the number of scammers that you come across will largely depend on where you search. Of course, if you go to free Facebook groups and many free paid dating sites who don't moderate and actively look out for scammers, then these are the sites these type of women will gravitate towards. And so your experience in those groups or dating sites will be one that you find scammer after scammer. One of the very best Filipina dating sites I recommend is Christian Filipina, where you'll find a genuine Filipina much easier with far less frustration. So be sure to check out my affiliate link in the pinned comment to get started. For those that may encounter a Filipina love scammer as you go through the process of trying to find a good woman, then these 10 ways to stop her will be your best defense. The first way not to fall victim is to always listen to your gut feeling. Now, some people will say that they've never learnt to trust their gut feeling, and many of these people sit and wonder why they have problems in life and love. My best advice here is to learn to pay attention to what your gut feeling is telling you about something or someone. Look at your gut feeling as a backup system to your brain. Sometimes we can be so into a woman or blind by her beauty that we switch our brain off from seeing all the signs that show things just don't add up. Now, when this happens and we essentially ignore what our brain is trying to tell us, our gut will step in and try and save the day. You must know that right here is our last chance to stop, listen and act. Or simply, we will fall a victim. I'll tell you that I've spoke to so many guys who've said they felt something wasn't right, but never acted on it. Or they gave her the benefit of the doubt, only to lose out financially and emotionally in the end. I know once I learnt to trust my gut feeling many years ago, it steered me right throughout life, as I'm sure it will also do for you. The second way not to fall a victim is simply by taking your time. Now, it seems that many guys and Filipinas feel that they need to go at supersonic speed where starting a relationship is concerned. One must know that this can be, and often is, a huge mistake. After all, what's the hurry here? Are you and the Filipinas so insecure that you think if you don't dive in fast, the other will lose interest? Well, to that I'd say, if they do, then they'll never enter you in the first place. Taking your time to get to know more about her will help you to see the real her, especially in online relationships. You must know, initially at least, you'll only see what she wants you to see for that hour or two each day where you chat. My advice here is to consider yourself as chatmates until you go and meet in person and spend a good amount of quality time together. After this time and all is good, then feel free to change the status of the relationship to that of a dating one. Doing this is protecting yourself from becoming a victim of a love scam, and if you don't heed the warnings, then you do so at your own peril. The third way not to fall victim is don't offer money in the first month, and then after that you may offer $20 a month just to help out with load so you guys can chat. I believe it's all part of reasonable expense the man should bear when looking to find a Filipina. But everyone's different and free to choose what you feel is right here. In that first 3 months, don't offer any more than that. And really, my best advice is don't up the amount until after you guys have met in person and upgraded your relationship as we spoke about earlier. The fourth way not to fall victim is by learning the various love scams going on in the Philippines. If you're searching online, then learn the most common online love scams taking place. And if you're in the Philippines looking for a woman there, then learn about the face-to-face love scams that you may encounter. There are certainly many good YouTube videos out there with plenty of good information, and in fact, I have a playlist dedicated to Filipina love scams. I'll be sure to put a link in the description of this video. The fifth way not to fall victim is by learning the many red flags that indicate to you that something with her is not right. To do this, you must know what to look for and then be able to act upon those red flags. It's no good if you know these things but are not being observant or paying attention. When you notice a red flag, write it down and see if any more appear. Over a few days or a couple of weeks, you may see a pattern of red flags appearing. From there, you really know what's happening, so you can either choose to walk away or confront the Filipina with what you've seen and then see what her reaction and explanation is. This leads me into the sixth way not to fall a victim, and that is by asking plenty of questions and paying attention. From day one, you really want to be paying attention to what she says, so over time you can see if her story changes in any way. We all know that if one is not telling the truth, then over time that lie can be harder to remember, and so details will change. On the other hand, if one is telling the truth, then simply they can recall accurately all of the time. I've spoken to many guys who have noticed how a Filipina story will change rather quickly, but they choose to ignore it, or again, they give her the benefit of the doubt. Now, I'm not talking about some differences here in communication around her English, but solid pieces of the story that may change in some way. Right here, this is a big red flag that she isn't being honest with you, and I assume that you're looking for a woman of honesty and integrity. So if this isn't her, then save yourself heartache and problems down the track and say goodbye. The seventh way not to fall victim is by observing the Filipina's body language. Now, most of you guys will have no problems looking at her body, I'm sure, but we need to do this not from a pleasure point of view and almost from an investigative point of view. You can be very sure that her body language will give you many clues if she's not genuine that she doesn't know she's even giving off. Is what she's saying to you congruent with her facial expressions or tone of voice? At certain times, is it hard for her to make eye contact with you? And does she appear to be making things up as she's going along? If you're unsure how to read body language, then there's much information online and in books, so it's worth investing a little time to gain a better understanding on this one. In fact, I did a video on reading a Filipina's body language some time back that you can check out on the card above. The eighth way not to fall victim is simply when a Filipina asks you directly for money, or she gives you those heart-wrenching stories that make you feel sorry for her that you just can't resist offering money, then this is a massive red flag, especially in the first 6 months of that relationship. I can tell you that my wife, even after 8 years together, still struggles to ask me for money should she be running short. It's just that a genuine, proud and independent Filipina takes pride in always looking after herself. My best advice here, for what it's worth, is if she asks you for money or gives you those stories in the early stages of the relationship, then run a mile very quickly and save yourself from being scammed. The ninth way not to fall victim is if you've never met in person and rather quickly she's either dressing more provocatively or even suggesting to send you nude pics, or even do some rather explicit things on video chat, then no, she's not your typical Filipina. Some guys here may think that they've hit the jackpot and lose all common sense. Know right here that she's doing this to buy your affections with her body, and she knows from this you'll feel more obligated and hence more likely to send money on a regular basis. You can be sure that a Filipina who does this is in no way genuine, and most likely she could have a boyfriend in the Philippines or even be married with kids. So be sure that you're not being played for a fool here, which brings me to my 10th way not to fall victim, which is if you have any doubts whatsoever about if she's genuine or not, then know you already know the answer to this deep inside your mind. I have so many guys who come to me and ask if I think the Filipina is genuine or not, and they may give me a story where several red flags are glaring. They clearly have doubts, but for some reason they don't want to take responsibility for doing what they know they must do, and so they hope that I will relieve them of that responsibility. Well, no. If you have doubts, they're there for a reason, so be sure to follow up yourself about those doubts to see if you can resolve this in your mind. And if you can't, or you just want to make sure that your new Filipina girlfriend is genuine or not, then be sure to check out my affiliate link to Love Guardians in the pinned comment and description of this video. If you're looking to learn more around Filipina love scammers and red flags, then be sure to check out my vast playlist appearing on screen now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.